Aloha and welcome to the second screencast about the Bootstrap Example Intro repo. In the second screencast we're going to look at a different branch. Right now we're in the basic branch. Let's switch over to the sign-in branch. And what you can see when we switch over is because we have live reload loaded, it automatically shows that. And if we go over into IntelliJ ID and click into it, this refreshes with the contents of this branch, and you can see, if you look at this, a lot of things are the same. So we're still loading Bootstrap here. We still have our style sheet, which has a little bit different content than before. It's simpler. We are still going through this silliness for Internet Explorer. But then what we're doing is we're showing a very simple use of the grid system in Bootstrap. And what you can see here is my very first example of the grid system after my screencast violates one of the rules from the grid system. Isn't that amusing? Well, let me ask you, take a look at this for a second. Why don't you pause, take a look at it for a second, and you tell me which of the kind of guidelines that I use in my screencast is being violated here. Okay, so pause right now. Take a look. Take your time. Okay, you back? Have you figured it out? I hope you have. I hope you didn't just say, forget it, I'm not pausing, I'm just going to find out what the answer, because you've just missed a very important learning opportunity. All right? So I'm going to give you one more chance to pause this, spend at least, 60 seconds. All right? 60 seconds. Pause right now. Okay. All right. You've spent your 60 seconds. I can feel it. So let's take a look and see what the problem is. The problem is that in my screencast on the grid system, I said that you have to have your rows add to 12, right? And within here, you can see within our row, we have just one div, and that one div has only a call small 4, okay? So that's not good at all. But it turns out that in this particular case, exceptions to every rule, this is going to work just fine, because what we're actually trying to do is simply center this thing in the middle of the page. In order to do that, and we don't want it to be like monstrous, okay? So in the case of a browser-sized or laptop-sized thing, so what we're going to say is we want this to be of moderate size, about a third of the screen, in the case of a laptop, and let's just move it over a third so that it turns out to be in the center. So for example, if we were to get rid of this call small offset 4 and refresh, what we can see is it moves over, and that doesn't look as nice. So we'll put that back in there and get it back in the center. Okay, the next thing you can see in this particular example is that we have a form, and there's some cool things in this form. For example, we've got the placeholder, we've got autofocus, so when you retrieve the page, the focus is set to be ready to type into that email address field. But I want to say that in general, form processing is not something that you're going to do a lot of until we've got the Play framework to actually process forms, but it's kind of good to see examples of the text here. Then at the bottom, we got this load bootstrap JavaScript, just like we had before, which ensures that nice things happen. Now, it's always good when you're using Bootstrap to make the size of your browser small to see what happens at the mobile size. And what you can see at mobile size, actually things expand to be the full width of the screen, which is precisely what this call small 4 thing tells you. Is below, it goes one column below the small size, and that's perfect, because on a mobile thing you don't want this thing to be squished into a third of a mobile phone. That would be crazy. It'd be like one index finger wide. Okay. So this is actually the exact right behavior. When it's bigger, when on a laptop, it's smaller. When we're small on a mobile, it's bigger. Okay. What else can I tell you? The style SC, we're just making the text for this H3 aligned in the center. That's kind of nice. Otherwise, this is pretty much all there is to it. All right. So that's the sign-in branch of the Bootstrap Example Intro. Play around with it. See what you think.